absolutely incredible what the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have accomplished to this point. And while the job is far from complete, the fact that they're headed to a 5th straight Grey Cup game in 6 years, of course, 2020, there was no CFL season. But to go from 3rd place in the West in 2019 to winning their first championship in 29 years, to then having a pandemic missed season in 2020 and going back to back, running it back in 2021 with a second championship, getting to that game in 2022 that no doubt we will be talking about, as it will be a rematch of that 109th Grey Cup. The Bombers and the Argos. Getting to that game a 4th straight year last year. And while they didn't get the result that they were looking for in the 2 most previous Grey Cup games, the Bombers sure look today, unlike they did 4 or 5 months ago, and more so like the team that had a dominant defense in 2021, a very good defense, and a can't-be-stopped offense led by Andrew Harris in 2019. And while those 2023 and 2022 seasons were also very, very good, it was all for naught, because it is win or go home. It is Grey Cup or bust for any team, but in particular, this legend that is still being written, that is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of this era. Welcome inside, everybody, on an incredible Super Saturday in Winnipeg sports, capped by a dominant 38-22 victory for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the 2024 West Final. What a day. What a day it was. Winnipeg dominant on the rink downtown, and Winnipeg dominant at the jewel of the Canadian Football League, Princess Auto Stadium, in capturing a victory and punching their ticket to the 111th Grey Cup. Great to see everybody in the live chat. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. Hey, I'm headed to Vancouver Tuesday morning. I'm going to be on the plane. I'm going to be there all week, and we are going to be pumping out content here on Bonfire Sports. So make sure you're subscribed. Follow on all of our socials, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're not on TikTok. You guys know that. You're welcome. But make sure you're following, because we're going to tell the story of this incredible 2024 Winnipeg Blue Bombers season that started 0-4 and 2-6 before they rifled off 8 straight wins, suffered a loss to their upcoming Grey Cup opponent in the Toronto Argonauts in Week 19, and then finished the season clinching the West Division regular season title with an act of God, gust of wind in Montreal. But there they are, victors tonight, 38-22. And we're going to break it all down here for you on Game Day After Dark, as we always do, always going live, pregame, regular season, postseason, and we will do it, of course, ahead of the 111th Grey Cup in 8 days' time. What most impressed you? Hit the live chat. Let me know. I'm going to be trying to follow that throughout the show. We're going to watch a ton of highlights, talk about these absolute ballers on the Bombers defense. Good God. That is a talented group led by Evan Holm tonight. Retta Cramdy balled out tonight. Willie Jefferson made it happen, even though they're only sending 3 pass rushers. Brady Oliveira, Kenny Lawler, good gracious. And of course, the quarterback, Zach Collaros. I'll admit, I was one of them. talking about Zach Collaros' numbers maybe not being so great in the postseason this year. Not being so great in his postseason career. But Collaros, as he so often does, came to play. He led this team on a whole whackload of scoring drives. He finished 19 to 26 passing, 73%, a perfect quarterback efficiency rating of 158.3, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. There's Willie with the flag. Love seeing that. Love seeing that. And we're going to look more at a lot of the highlights of this game a little bit later. We'll see right there. There is our live stream going to Instagram, as we always do, going live everywhere. But we'll take a look at the stats. Of course, there's Zach Collaros' numbers. Here, we'll get a better look at the offense. We'll do it this way. Trevor Harris threw the ball a lot, 44 times. We'll look at those numbers later. But let's talk about and focus on who you came here to see, and that's the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Collaros, outstanding. Brady Oliveira, bully ball when he needed to. 119 yards on the ground, 6 yards per carry. We're going to look at that 21-yard run that he had in the second quarter. 3 runs of 10-plus yards, had a touchdown. How about Terry Wilson and that 46-yard scamper to set up a Bombers touchdown? I think that put them up. I think that was their 3rd touchdown of the game. But Nick Dembski converting those second downs. Kenny Lawler converting big plays on those second downs. 4 catches, 177 yards. Kenny balled out tonight. Why don't we look a little bit at the work of Kenny Lawler? What do you think of that? Here's Kenny Lawler and just some of his catches in the first half. Outstanding work tonight. Outstanding work. He and the Bombers offense were explosive. And I don't know, to me, I really see good football as a balance between ball control, moving the chains, long drives, kind of bleeding the life out of your opponent, right? Just not allowing them to have life because you're keeping the football. That Brady Oliveira bully ball, right? It's a balance of that with the explosion play and taking the top off of a defense. And Kenny Lawler led the way with that tonight. He was awesome. But I think I'd be with you guys in saying, what about that Bombers defense? Man, they were so good. And was it a surprise? I mean, no. They have been good all season long. Defensive coordinator Jordan Younger is the man right now, frankly. He took what Richie Hall has built over the last number of years. And with Richie still in the building, to have that master, that teacher, that mentor right there at your disposal, at Jordan Younger's disposal. And then to be able to put your own twist on what it was already a successful defense. It made Winnipeg's defense that much. It just gave it a little juice. It just gave it a little bit of something that opposing teams are having a real tough time with. I was going to pull up the defensive numbers. I will. Here they are. Reda Cramdy leading the way. 9 defensive tackles tonight, quarterback sack. Dietrich Nichols had 5 tackles. We know the work that Evan Holm had, 4 tackles, 2 on specials, and 2 on defense, 4 knockdowns. He was everywhere, and they kept going after him, trying to find Kean Schaefer-Baker, trying to find Samuel Emelis. Trevor Harris frustrated that Evan Holm was just punching balls away. It was awesome to see. Here's some of the plays from Evan Holm tonight. This dude was an all-star last year. This year, wasn't an all-star. And so often, like, he had 80 tackles, right? Because we saw, opposing offenses have evolved a little bit in how they attack the Blue Bombers offense. And it's, before they would not throw at Dietrich Nichols and they would throw at Evan Holm. And that's what they did, last year and this year. And that's why Evan Holm had a lot of tackles. But Evan Holm stepped up and started punching balls away. You just saw it there. Incredible. The way that he just found ways to keep his eyes locked in, to keep his body control where it needed to be, and to knock some of those balls down. It was awesome. Here's a good one that I really enjoyed. This was in the second quarter. Oh, and for some reason we're going half speed here. We'll try to fix this. Oh. Well, for whatever reason, it's kind of slow motion. We'll get that straightened out. We'll get that straightened out in a second. Hey, did you know Schnitzy's going to be coming by in no time? He was down at the stadium tonight, sold out crowd, 5th sellout of the year for Princess Auto Stadium. That was awesome to see. It was deafening inside the confines tonight. The Madhouse on Matheson. I'm curious where you're going to be watching the Grey Cup. Hit up the live chat. Let me know. And great to see everybody in here. Monica, you've been taking over the live chat the last couple weeks. Great to see you. Friesen and Donnie Boy and Andrew Haleko. Thanks for the kind wishes a little bit earlier today. Comet and Canuck God, John Cuppers, Kim Sawchuk. I saw my old friend Tamsin in there, Doug Thorowski. Awesome to see everybody in there. Maybe this is a good time to address it. If you look over my shoulder, you'll see a logo that represents somebody that we lost today. After an incredible, heroic battle with cancer, this morning, our good friend, colleague, Ted Wyman of the Winnipeg Sun, lost his life. Ted will always be remembered as an incredibly joyful, full of life, kind, caring, smiling man. A truly talented sports reporter and journalist. Approached his job with passion and with vigor every single day. It was like a year ago that I was in Hamilton with a bunch of colleagues. And Grey Cup weeks were always very, very special for Ted, for me, for Jeff Hamilton, for a lot of our colleagues here in Winnipeg and across the country that are grieving today. It was a year ago. Ted, he was in his element in these special sports events. We're going to miss you, buddy, so very much. And, we're going to honor you. We're going to share the joy and love that you always had in your heart with everybody else. And you left a lasting legacy. We're going to miss you. And rest in peace, rest in power. And, hey, the teams that you covered with so much energy and passion and professionalism and talent over your incredible career, they both pulled out some big, big wins for you today, which is a great sign. I know you were looking down on them tonight, and have to acknowledge the Winnipeg Jets organization, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers organization, many others as well, who put together very nice, memories. And paid their respects in different ways for Ted Wyman. If you want to watch the video that the Winnipeg Jets played today at the Jets game about Ted Wyman, it's in my social media. You can find links to that in the video description below. But at Darrin Bauming on X or Twitter or whatever you call it. But there's so many out there. Hey, we will digress. We will move on. This is a night of celebration. The same way I know Ted would be excited to go to the Grey Cup and cover the Blue Bombers for a 5th straight year, to watch this game, to take in it all, and to really just experience what all of you out there bring, the fire starters, what all of you bring, that passion, that energy, that fire. That's why we do what we do. Us sports reporters, we do it out of passion. We don't do it for the big bucks. I'll tell you that much. But Ted really embodied that, and we're going to continue to do that in his honor. CFL 60 OG. I like this. Ted Wyman, synonymous with Winnipeg sports. His voice and opinion will certainly be missed. Rest easy, Ted. Amen to that. Amen to that. We are going to get into WALBY'S Warrior, WESTWOOD's Wide to the Right. Your Happy Honker Award will hand out your game balls. I would like to know your bonfire burning point. Not that 3-letter turning point, but the bonfire burning point. What was the moment in tonight's game that turned things in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers' favor and helped them punch their ticket to a 5th straight Grey Cup? 38-22, your final score. And we'll watch some more video highlights as we go here. A burning point is tough. There were some late in the game that you could say maybe sealed it for Winnipeg, but I would like to know the burning point. Like, what was the moment or the play or the series of instances or plays that just gave Winnipeg the momentum, gave them that edge that they were able to carry through? There were, it might be this one. It might be this one. I got to do something here. Hang on, guys. It might be this one. Let's see. Oh, geez. I'm having issues with the playback here. Let's see. Thanks for bearing with me. Think I'm going to get this speed down. All right. Here we go. In the second quarter, the Blue Bombers already had a 14-6 lead. Oh, see, now it's too fast. Here we go. How's this? Yeah, this is proper speed now. And leading 21-6, they put together a really great drive that not a lot of people would expect to kind of go down. It started with this Brady Oliveira 9-yard run that kind of set them up at midfield. And, well, fingers crossed I don't mess it up. Here we go. Here's Terry Wilson embodying his inner Chris Streveler with a 46-yard run off tackle as Marcus Sales, our old friend, former Bomber, longtime All-Star and veteran DB in this league, was unable to seal the edge. We'll get a great look on the replay here. Terry Wilson going 46 to set up a Blue Bombers touchdown. They were up 14-6 at this point, but this set up a touchdown. This was the second of 3 plays going 70 yards. And to me, I know it's a little crazy, second quarter, but Winnipeg going up 21-6. And keep in mind, your final score, 38-22. Winnipeg going up 21-6. I feel like this was the bonfire burning point. What say you, Zach Schnitzer? Welcome inside. How you doing?
DB, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, man. Doing
am I on
well.
camera
I'm sure
now?
you're doing very, very well tonight.
Yeah. Am I even on camera? What's going on here?
You are. Yep, I got you.
Oh, this is just I'm shrunken on the bottom left, but that's probably where I deserve to be. Darrin.
No, not you. You're a bleeding blue and gold super fan of this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team. You deserve to feel like you're exploding from the inside out right now.
Dude, you probably already mentioned this. Just before we get into the game, I want to just mention your good buddy Ted Wyman. I only met him a couple times, Darrin, but just a gem of a guy. I could just tell he was just a genuine, nice dude. And
Yep.
I met him for the first time after the Grey Cup in Hamilton that we won in overtime at the airport. He was there with Paul Friesen and Taylor Allen and a few guys there, and Jeff Hamilton, and just gave me the time of day. Didn't know who I was, right? This is before I was Schnitzy with Darrin Bauming, and just a nice man, very talented at his craft, and just such a sad thing to happen today. And I'm sure Teddy was smiling down on the game today. So, you know, as you know, cancer has affected my family, and just again, right? Just brutal. 58 years old is way too young. So
It is. Yeah.
I want to just give my condolences to you, Darrin. I know you were his buddy, and his friends, his friends, his colleagues, his family members. Just a hard day, I'm sure. The game, I mean, what are my initial impressions? I don't even know where to start, right? Like, is it the offense? Is it the defense? Is it the crowd? Is it going to 5 straight Grey Cups? Honestly, there's so much you could talk about, buddy, but I have to tell you this. I have gone on record saying Zach Collaros has not played well in the playoffs for the Bombers, Darrin.
How about tonight?
And this was Zach Collaros' signature Winnipeg Blue Bombers playoff game, Darrin. 301 yards and 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. This is a guy that started the season throwing pick after pick after pick, 0-4, 2-6. We were wondering, like, who is this Zach Collaros? Zach Collaros was there the whole time. He needed that O-line to gel. That O-line gave him plenty of time, gave up no sacks tonight, Darrin. Tons of holes for Brady Oliveira, 119 yards for Brady. And Zach threw the lights out. It was incredible. Kenny Lawler, I don't know how he was so wide open. If there's anybody you cover, if you're the Saskatchewan secondary, you double him. He burnt Amari Henderson, the DB, multiple times. But what a signature game for Zach Collaros. And now, Darrin, here they are going to their 5th straight Grey Cup, which is unthinkable in the salary cap era. Like, that is unthinkable dominance. Again, getting there, and now they're playing against a backup quarterback in Nick Arbuckle and the Argos. Wow. I mean, wow.
Like, for those that don't know what happened in the East Final, absolutely incredible result and football game that it was. The Argos, I would say, were in pretty good control that entire game. They came away with a 30-28 victory. Montreal really pushed late after Chad Kelly went down to injury. Pretty wild moment right at the end of the third quarter, pretty much the last play of the third quarter, where Chad Kelly tucked it, ran upfield, went down, like was tackled, and it was really okay at that point until Montreal Alouettes defensive lineman, and like, I'm not, like, to no fault of his, this was not a dirty play or anything, but just kind of accidentally, Isaac 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙧𝙧𝙧 fell on Chad Kelly's leg and broke his shin, broke his fibula. So, or pardon me, fibula. Yeah. Anyway, broke his shin. broke the lower
bone.
leg bone. But he went for surgery today, did Chad Kelly. He's got like a 6 to 9 month recovery timeline. So he will not play in the Grey Cup. And I put out a tweet. It's like, who will quarterback for the Toronto Argonauts? Will it be Nick Arbuckle or will it be Cameron Dukes? And by all expectations, it will be Nick Arbuckle. But I think if you're the Toronto Argonauts, you're Ryan Dinwiddie, you really have to put some things into mind about maybe I got to use 2 quarterbacks going up against the Bombers just to throw another wrinkle, have a wrench, have a tickle trunk of surprises that you can throw at, for my money. I think for the money of many, the best defense in the CFL right now, pretty much all season. So the Bombers, I'm curious how you feel, Schnitzy, and everyone in the live chat too. It was not long ago at all. 2 years. The Bombers were upset by Chad Kelly and the Toronto Argonauts at Mosaic Stadium in Regina in the 109th Grey Cup. And now the Bombers go in there with I'll just say it, shitload of momentum. Yeah. Pile of energy. A Paul McCallum front lawn pile size of energy.
That's good, buddy.
Albeit not Regina this time, but getting redemption for what happened in Regina 2 years ago. Going into Vancouver against an Argos team that has had a really up and down year. They beat the crap out of the Bombers in week 19, Winnipeg's second last game of the season. And Winnipeg gets a chance for double redemption because they're rolling right now. Outside of that loss against Toronto in week 19, Winnipeg has won. They won 8 prior to that. They've won 2 since. So they've won 10 of their last 11. They're red hot.
And Darren, they played Nick Arbuckle in week, I think Dukes played a little bit there too. In week 8, the Bombers lost 16-14 in Toronto. It was a game that we really should have won because it was a BS pick 6 that lost us the game. That sent it into overtime. It was a PI, obviously. Anyway, Arbuckle and that offense did absolutely nothing that game. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen again. I think Dinwiddie is an excellent coach. He's an excellent coach. They will have a game plan against the Bombers. But this Western final win, Darren, feels different. Mm-hmm. I haven't been this excited about a West final win since we beat Saskatchewan 20-13. That was in 2019. That was an exciting one because we were going back to the Grey Cup after so many years, and we beat the Riders in Mosaic, first West final in Mosaic. And then, we kind of the last 2 West finals where we beat the BC Lions were kind of underwhelming. Collaros didn't play great. We relied on a Jadarian Grant touchdown and Oliveira. This team started 0-4. People were saying this was the end. They were saying there was too many old guys on the team. They're too old. Ontario Wilson was doing nothing, and Oliveira had been injured in training camp.
Brady can't do anything without that O-line that he had before.
Right? And this O-line has gelled. And this team has been through the fire of adversity this year. Mm-hmm. And, it's almost good that they lost that next game in week 19 that you mentioned and in against Toronto, giving up 7 sacks. I think it woke them up. They'd been sort of not coasting, but when you win 8 in a row, it's hard to light the fire under your butt every game. Even if you're a Mike O'Shea, Blue Bombers culture team like this is, right? They got manhandled in that game, and that O-line had a lot of questions to answer, Darren. And they answer them tonight. Zach Collaros was not sacked. He was pressured a couple times, I thought. But overall, I thought the O-line played magnificently well. And they opened up holes for Brady against the best rush defense in the CFL. Saskatchewan was giving up about 80 yards per game. Not by far, but the best run defense in the CFL. And the Bombers rushed, Darren, for 194 yards. Right?
Yeah.
Like Oliveira, 119 yards, had a 6-yard average.
Saskatchewan, the best rush defense in the CFL. Like, the Roughriders run defense, they averaged 80 yards rushing against them this year. Average. So like that's a 60-yard game for every 100-yard game. There weren't many. I think there might've been one 100-yard rushing game against them this year, 80 yards per game. And as you said, they doubled that and then some, like 2.5 times what they've normally allowed this year. Yeah. That's bully ball. Brady was like, it's Brady, but you know what? It's Chris Kolinkowski and Liam Dobson, 𝘽𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚 lining up at tight end, and Gabe Wallace lining up at tight end. And of course, Big Stanley Bryant and Pat Neufeld and Eric Lofton. We talked about that a couple, really about a month and a half ago, maybe even 2 months ago, how it can take 8, 10, 12 weeks for a new kind of retooled O-line to gel. And they have it right now. They're protecting, they're running. It's amazing.
Well, and I know there's a bit of an outlier because Terry Wilson had that 48-yard run, so that has the stats a little bit. But all you have to know is that Oliveira had a 6-yard average against a Sask run defense that was averaging only 4.8 yards against on average per run. That's 1.2 yards more than their average. Like, and I have to tell you this. I thought Buck Pierce called an amazing game. And Darrin, I'll give you a hat tip because you've been telling me every time I've been nervous about the offense, they look static, not a lot of motion.
I think everyone out there needs to know. You'll call me, you'll text me, and I'll be like, Schnitzy, relax, man. You're going to be okay.
But Darrin, you keep telling me, and I never listen, that the coaches leave some stuff for the playoffs. They're not going to show all their cards, right? And I thought tonight, and that's why the bye is so important too, because they have an extra week of prep to prep for Saskatchewan or BC. They didn't know who they were playing. And then they have another week to prep for Saskatchewan. I thought Buck Pierce was masterful. I thought he in the first quarter, there was barely any rushing from Oliveira because they were stacking the box, because they're the best rush defense. What Buck did is he got Nick Dembski involved on first down. He gave him a couple toss plays, a couple of runs up the middle. He was throwing short stuff, right? Like he was just loosening up that Rider defense so that, when they needed to, they started bully ball with Brady Oliveira, and the Riders just couldn't stop it. And then they dressed, the Bombers dressed 7 linemen. So you knew that they were gonna. They were doubling down on double tight end. You knew that they were going to run the ball. And what do they do on the first Lawler touchdown? Is they have the heavy set team in there with the 6-0 lineman, double tight end, or whatever you want to say. They play action, and then he throws to Lawler, who ran a crossing route. And was one-on-one with the Sam linebacker, I believe, on Revis, which is such a mismatch. It was a brilliant call by Buck Pierce. He'd been setting it up all first quarter, and I just thought Buck was on point. He schemed it so that O-line would be able to give Zach time, because some of that is scheme, right? And I loved it. And then you saw the Dembski jet sweep later in the game that was working. You saw Whitehead get involved on offense. So
are you able to see the screen, Schnitzy? I know you've had trouble the last couple shows.
I can see the screen, yeah.
Okay.
I can see your beautiful mug and your haircut. You look good.
Do you see the double tight end set here?
Oh no, I don't see the highlights you're showing. No.
Okay. Well, the one you just talked about.
Oh yeah, you just show that. There it is.
You can see Gabe Wallace is at right tight end, and there's the extra O lineman kind of lining up as an up back. But play action and then being able to find Kenny Lawler on that 31-yard touchdown early in the game. You're right. It definitely threw the Saskatchewan Roughriders off, who throws a 30-yard strike when you're running 7 O linemen. It's crazy.
It was clever. I thought Buck was very clever, and it makes me confident for next week against a very good Argo. Now, you've talked about the Argo D line, how dominant they are, and they're going to need to dial up a few different wrinkles to to move the ball, quite frankly.
Well,
But
Schnitzy, like you remember what I said? I kind of say it every year early in the season. You're like, oh, why don't they do more play action? Where's more Chris Streveler? Why don't they try this? Why don't they? You're seeing it now. There's a reason why they do not open every single chapter of the playbook. And I know you know this, Schnitzy. I'm just kind of speaking to the point of it. But we're seeing it now. We're seeing the Bombers go deeper into the playbook. We're seeing, Buck Pierce and Zach Collaros flex the creative muscle, do some different things. And you kind of have to save your best for when it matters, right? Brady Oliveira said it this week. Big time players make big plays in big games. And it's a very, very cliche football saying, right? Big time players making big plays in big games, but that's what the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are doing. And you know who the big time players are? Like, we can talk about Collaros and Oliveira and Stanley Bryant and Kenny Lawler and Nick Dembski. But you know who their big players are making big time plays in big games? Evan Holm.
Yeah, Evan Holm.
Reda Cramdy.
Yeah.
Jake Thomas.
Tanner Schmeckel. Now, I don't just like him because his name's Schmeckel and it sounds like Schnitzer. I in the article I wrote for our website, Darrin, I said that they're gonna need more from Jake Thomas and Tanner Schmeckel in that middle. They were struggling, and I was criticizing Mike O'Shea's use of starting 9 Canadians when you only need 7. And I called you last night. I'm like, why isn't Devin Adams in the lineup? Why are they just going with Schmeckel and Jake Thomas? And I saw a few times where Schmeckel and Thomas, respectively, took care of Ouellette.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they kept Ouellette. Ouellette had one big 30-yard run, but I thought they kept the Saskatchewan run game in check. And those guys came to play, and they shut me up. I'll eat crow on that one. I didn't expect that. I was the Bombers have kind of like a middling run defense. They did, I thought, really good, stout work against that Saskatchewan run attack, and really kept it in check and made Harris try and beat him with his arm. And if you go up by a couple scores on the Riders, they can't go to their bread and butter, which is to run the ball and then to dink and dunk with Trevor Harris. And they couldn't do it. I thought we'll talk about the burning point in a minute, but I thought when the Bombers went up a couple scores, I thought it was over for the Riders, to be honest with you. You never know in a playoff game, but the way the Riders are constructed, the way they attack you, I really thought that they were in trouble once they went down by a couple of scores.
Yeah. What's your burning point?
So I think I have my best burning point of the year, buddy. I think I saved it. I saved it for our West final show, my friend. So this is my burning point. Okay. It was the third quarter. The Riders were down by 2 scores, and they do a fake punt on 3rd and 3, completely fool the Bombers. It was very clever. Great coaching by the Riders. That fake punt leads to a Rider touchdown.
Here it is.
They go there, it's 24-9, so then it's 24-16. So it's a 1-score game. The Bombers then go 2 and out. They punt it back to the Riders. The Riders then get 8 yards on first down, and you're thinking they have all the momentum. They're going to drive the field. This is unthinkable. The Bombers were up by 2 scores. Come on, what's going on? And then on 2nd and 2, Darrin, with 8:58 to go in the third quarter, instead of running the ball, they pass it, and it's incomplete. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you passing the ball in 2nd and 2? Like, rush the ball. Like I just thought they got in their own heads there. And just before that, Brandon Alexander on the Alford return out of bounds, Brandon Alexander is called for a misconduct for 15 yards. And there was groans in the stands. And then the ref comes out and says, "Oh, there was no misconduct. There's no penalty on Brandon Alexander." And there was just something about that revved up the crowd. Like they were cheering as if like we'd scored a touchdown. And I could just feel the momentum shift. 2nd and 2, they miss it. And they punt it back to the Bombers. And 57-yard Lawler touchdown, capping off a 5-play drive to go back up by 2 scores. Then it was 31-16, up by 15. And to me, that was the burning point. We had all the momentum, and that's where we kind of took over the game, I thought, Darrin. On maybe it wasn't just one play that was a burning point, but that whole sequence for me was the burning point. You know, to Saskatchewan had all the momentum, and then you have this penalty by Brandon Alexander, which moves them up to midfield. Then it's called back. Then they go 2 and out. Then they punt it back, and the Bombers cap it off with another Kenny Lawler huge touchdown.
Yeah. Lawler, that was a special game. An absolutely special game for Kenny Lawler. I'm trying to find that touchdown. You said
it was a 57-yard touchdown. Probably would have been about 8:30, 8 something left in the game. In the third quarter, sorry.
I've got his 65-yard touchdown.
He had a 65-yarder, he had a 31-yarder, he had a 57-yarder.
Crazy. Yeah. It was a special day for whoops. Sorry about that.
What happened?
Oh, I've got a logo on the screen.
Oh.
There we go. We're having fun here tonight.
Why can't I see your screen?
I don't know. You've been having issues lately. I don't know what's going on with
I can see you. I can see me in the bottom left, but I just can't see.
Yeah, see, I'm showing Kenny Lawler's what was it here? This was his 65-yarder, part of a 2-play 89-yard drive. So he had he had a 65-yarder, and then the next play he took it in for the touchdown. That is the one you were talking about. 65 and then a 31. It was or 34. It was like an 89-yard 2-play drive to go up 14-0. I think that's the one you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about in the third quarter. The 57-yarder. That made it 31.
Yeah.
16. But that's a nice drive to go up 14-0, 89 yards for another 89. Lovely.
You know, I was talking about it on the CGOB pregame show. I was keeping Ted's seat warm, and I will always keep it warm for him. In the segment we do every week, What Ted Did. They play that great, the Reverend from The Simpsons, Reverend Lovejoy.
Yeah,
that's what it is. As soon as I said The Simpsons, Reverend Lovejoy. My sermon this week is titled "What Ted Did," which is just a hilarious clip of the Reverend judging one of his church members. But we talked about a great question from DT, and he asked, "Whose receiving core would you rather have?" And it's like, Dean Schaefer-Baker, Samuel Emelis. That's they lead a nice group there. But myself, Christian O'Mell, Ed Tate, we all agreed we'd rather have Winnipeg's. And, Christian mentioned Kenny Lawler, like being a big play guy. Like, this is what they needed tonight. He came. I said I would get, it's pretty close. They're both very talented receiving cores. But in this game, in this loud building, I gave it to the Blue Bombers receivers because if you can't hear, that's tough. That's real tough. So,
I think you're right. I mean, I do think the Riders have a good receiving core, but when Kenny Lawler takes it to the next level, Kenny Lawler is a CFL superstar. He is a guy that can take over a game, and he did tonight. Now, Collaros and the O-line played great, but Kenny Lawler took over that game. He had 4 catches for 177 yards. That's your home run hitter right there. The Riders, like 𝘎𝙤🫄 Johnson's good. Schaefer Baker, I think, is their best receiver, and I think he's a phenomenal receiver. So like the MLS, they've got some guys.
MLS is an absolute stud. Like I put him there with Geno Lewis and Dalton Schoen and like the best receivers in the league.
But Lawler, I think, is that next level. A guy that's a real game breaker. I don't know that the Riders have that home run hitter on offense. And I would love to see the replays. I mean, of course, I'm going to watch this game again, but I thank you to Waiters 27. Thank you on YouTube. But I'd love to see, and maybe I'll ask Lapo to break it down in his coach's playbook, his segments he does every week. That's
you're just in Lapo's ear, eh? You're in coach's ear. You're like, hey, do this.
Yeah, Lapo listens to me.
Yeah.
After we met him on Labor Day, right? That was the first time I'd met Lapo at Crave Kitchen and Bar. But
here's 𝘎𝙤🫄 Johnson bobbling what could have been a very, very costly Saskatchewan Roughriders score in the first quarter. That would have tied the game.
Yes, it would have. But I'd love to see how the Bombers schemed Lawler open. Was it bust? Like, I know the one they did the double tight end and they fooled the Riders with the first touchdown, but it looked like he was one-on-one against Amari Henderson a couple of times, and Henderson just got burned. But like, Lawler's going to do that if you play him one-on-one, like man defense, like, whoopsies. Now to be fair, the Saskatchewan defense is great. They're especially their run defense, but their secondary, they're bottom third of the league. And Collaros exposed them a little bit in the Labor Day Classic.
They have 3 CFL All-Stars in their secondary. CJ Rivas is their dime back, Marcus Sales at corner, and of course Roland Milligan. There he is getting beat by Lawler on a touchdown.
Yeah.
As a halfback. So,
but as a unit, because those, stats and whatever might give you some of those laurels, but as a unit, they are bottom third of the league in terms of what they give up through the air. And Zach Collaros exposed them in the Labor Day Classic. If you remember, before he was taken out by that cheap shot, he had 218 yards in that first half. Before he got injured and didn't come out in the second. Like, he had done it against the Riders, and I thought he did it again, and they figured it out. They figured it out, man. That Riders secondary was exposed. I don't care how many trophies they win and how many interceptions. Like, this Riders defense, their bread and butter was taking the ball away. And the Bombers didn't turn it. No, the Bombers turned it over on special teams a couple times, and we can get to that later. Wide to the right style, but the Bombers, credit, they protected the football tonight, and that was huge against a Rider team that was like plus 26 or something. That I thought that was a key to the game, to not turn the ball over to the Riders, and the offense was clean. They didn't allow a sack, they didn't throw a pick, they didn't fumble. I thought the Bombers just played a tight, clean, amazing game. Love it. I just love it. And I'm going to rewatch the game probably twice. I'm so excited. 2 times. 1 for each chain. Oh, I can't hear you, DB. You might be muted.
Maybe that was a good thing.
There you go.
Maybe that was a good thing. It wasn't just Evan Holm doing it on defense either. Tyrell Ford punched some balls away. He was great. He was great tonight.
Yeah.
That was a huge one. Let's take another look at it. This was in the fourth quarter, 3rd and 3 to force a turnover on downs. Their first of 2 turnovers on downs in that second half. Holm and Tony Jones and a whole bunch of guys on that defense were so good tonight. I don't know if you can see this, Schnitzy, but this is the Bombers' home field advantage. Last 8 home games versus the Riders, 8-0. They've scored 35 points a game. They've allowed 12, and that includes 6 wins of 10 plus points. That would be including tonight, 38-22. Yep. That last home loss against the Riders, September 8th, 2018. Was that the Wild Moose? That adolescent moose running around? The Banjo Bowl?
So the Wild Moose Banjo Bowl was 2017.
Okay.
That we won 48-28.
Thank you for your better memory than mine. Holy goodness.
Oh, I remember these things. Like if my wife could choose, she would elect that I would remember things that she said rather than, remote history of the Blue Bombers scores in 2017. 2018 was the game Zach Collaros played for the Riders. They beat us, what was it, 32-27, I want to say. That's where Brandon Bridge came in because Collaros got injured. But that was the game where Matt Nichols threw those 2 pick sixes in the red zone, one to Willie Jefferson where he hot dogged it into the end zone. That was the last time the Riders beat us at home.
How about that?
How about that?
Yeah. It's really interesting watch it, thinking about the streaks and the tendencies and the history behind it all. Somebody in the live chat here mentioned how the Argos are like 60%. Oh, here we go. How about that? It's Douglas Savage, author of My New Hero, Memories of the Rink Rats book. Link to the Amazon link in the description below. I'll pull that up one more time. Douglas Savage, Argos are 75% in Grey Cups games, but it's payback in the 111th game for the 109th back in 2022. Here's a good question.
Mr. Savage.
Yeah. Here's a good question from Comet. Can't decide which team I'm more pumped for, Jets or Bombers. Well, I know this. One team is 1 win away from, dare I say, the D word?
Yes, that D word.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
If you win 3 Grey Cups in 5 straight, not 5, like 3 in 5 years, no, 5 straight Grey Cup appearances, that means you're elite the entire time. You didn't have a down year. You didn't have a retool year or a rebuild. 5 straight Grey Cup appearances. And if you can win 3, I think that's a dynasty. I think that's absolutely securely a dynasty.
Yeah, Milt Stegall was apparently saying it's already a dynasty getting to 5 straight. I would respectfully disagree with Milt there. I think you got to win. You got to win 3. There's just something, I don't know why it's 3, but it is. You got to win 3. You got to win 3. And we can get to this at the end of the show. I know we want to talk about this game, but I have a good feeling about this one, Darrin.
I'm going to move this logo so we can read these comments a little bit better.
The Argos against the Bombers in the Grey Cup historically are 7-0. We have never beaten the Argos in the Grey Cup. That has to change. We're playing in a dome next week. Collaros seems to have gotten things together. That O-line seems to have gelled.
They're playing really, really strong, tight.
This was their best game of the year, Darrin.
Yeah.
Their best game of the year was in the last 2 years that they've lost the Grey Cup. They didn't exactly light the world on fire in the West Final.
Yeah. I
remember a couple of years ago, after the 2022 West Final, where we beat them 28-20, I believe, against Nathan Rourke. You asked me, how do I feel? You were all excited. Third straight Grey Cup. I was like, meh.
I know.
They didn't play that well. Tonight was their best game of the year. unlike the last couple of years where they were just boat racing other teams and sort of came down to the pack at the end and lost the Grey Cup, this team is peaking at the right time. They
I
are
think that's fair.
9-1 in their last 10 games.
That's right.
This team, it's Kim Sawchuk says it's our time. I think it's our time. I don't want to jinx the game.
They're
The team.
10-1 in their last 11 games.
There you go.
Because 8 straight, then a loss,
Then they beat
then a
the
win,
Alouettes.
then a playoff win.
And I'd like to think that my mother-in-law, my dearly departed mother-in-law, was smiling down. I think she was smiling down on that mighty divine wind when Zima shanked it. And we were able to win that game and host the West Final, which turned out to be huge, right? You have that crowd noise at Princess Auto Stadium. I think my mother-in-law was smiling down tonight, Darrin. The last game I watched with her, we lost to the Riders 19-9. I was watching with her in the hospital, St. Boniface. And tonight we played those dastardly Riders again, and we curb stomped them, to use a Winnipeg term. Like, we just dominated the Riders. It's the best feeling in the world. And you know what I'm going to do tomorrow, Darrin? I'm going to go on Rider Fans, the Rider Fan Forum, and I'm going to read the whole thread because they are going to be so angry and so abusive towards Winnipeg. Well, I love it. I love it.
Randall,
this is the best.
Randall, who's watching live on YouTube. What's going on, Randall? Thanks for jumping in the chat. Rider Broadcast, says Randall. Rider Broadcast really commended the Blue Bombers defensive backs execution tonight. Yeah. So, you know, that says it all right there.
Oh, and trust me, I'm going to be listening to the Green Zone. I mean, oh, there's so much joy to come from this win, Darrin. Yeah. The CKRM post-game, just love it.
Comment asking if anyone was injured tonight. I mean, everyone's going to be banged up, but yeah, don't expect any word from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on if they're okay or if you know guys are. It is Fort Knox of the lips when you're in the playoffs, especially if you're a Mike O'Shea run football organization. Well, here's Joey Slattery. What's going on, Slats? Argos only win Grey Cups in 5-year increments. Bombers Dynasty Redemption Tour.
He's so right about that, though. He is. Like 2012 they won, then 2017 they won, then 2022. He's exactly right.
Jonathan Rompf says, DB, Schnitzy, you going to Vancouver? I'm going to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Schnitzy, I know you would be there if you could be. But
I'm actually dying to go. Honestly, like I was there in 2019 in Calgary and we won. I was there in 2021 in Hamilton and we won. I wasn't there in 2022 in Regina and we lost. I wasn't there last year and we lost. But my whole workplace knows I have no holidays left, and they know that I'm the biggest Bomber fan there. And I think if I took Monday off and pretended to be sick, I'd be fired. I have no holidays left, but I would love to go. I mean, maybe I could leave without pay on the Monday. Maybe it'll be worth it. I just have a good feeling. Oh man. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. What you've avoided your boarding point? Do you have the same one as me?
I mentioned it. I mentioned it before you joined us.
Oh, I thought, what was it?
It was really, really early in the game, and it was Winnipeg going up. It was this. Let's take a look at it. It was this drive, in the second quarter. My bonfire burning point. In the second quarter. Oh, yeah. Hang on. I'm going to tee it up here. Here we go. This was a 9-yard Brady Oliveira run. And then I'll jump ahead. Okay. Brady smacking his head. He's fired up. Here it is 2nd and 1. Terry Wilson. Marcus Sales over pursues on the edge, springing Terry Wilson for just an incredible run of 46 yards that set up a Nick Dembski touchdown catch on the next play. This 3-play drive that went 70 yards is my bonfire burning point tonight. I saw someone in the live chat saying it was that STN, whatever it is. Oh yeah, TSN. You're looking at it at the top right of your screen there, the TSN turning point. No. Nay. The bonfire burning point was Winnipeg scoring quickly their third touchdown of the game in the second quarter to go up 21-6 in a game where the Riders scored 22 through 60 minutes. And one, of course, being a garbage time touchdown. So that was my bonfire burning point tonight.
So when you look at that Terry Wilson run, almost 50-yard run, was that some kind of scheme that the Bombers dialed up, or was that just Marcus Sale losing contain and over pursuing and just springing him? Because that was incredible. I was not expecting Terry Wilson to run for 48 yards.
No, I don't think anybody was.
I don't think anybody was.
Yeah, it was awesome. WALBY'S Warrior. Let's get into it. Who went to war tonight? And hit up the live chat. Want to know who your WALBY'S Warrior is?
We need the old TSN sound effect there. WALBY'S Warrior.
That was CBC.
That was CBC. Okay. Yeah. Buddy, my warrior is a guy who got injured and then came back, Darrin, into the game, registered 9 tackles and a sack. A hellacious sack on Trevor Harris in the fourth quarter. And that is Canadian strong side linebacker Retta Cramdy. Just an unbelievable game by Retta Cramdy. I know he was mad on the garbage time touchdown at the end there. I think Emilus sort of scampered around him for the touchdown, but I thought he was an absolute warrior. I saw him stuff the run a couple times on 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙦. I saw him like that sack on there. It's hard to sack Trevor Harris. He gets the ball out so quickly, but he double pumped it, and Cramdy just smoked him.
How about this hit? Boom on 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙦.
Yeah, he smoked 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙦 as well. I just thought he was phenomenal tonight, Darrin, and he was a real warrior. Love me some Retta Cramdy. And I think you had said on your pregame with WALBY that Cramdy is going to get noticed next year in the next couple of years. And I think you're absolutely right. And regardless of whether he's Canadian, which is in itself pretty spectacular for a Canadian to be playing strong side linebacker. I think it's him and Patrice Rene in BC who are doing it.
Yep.
I think he's going to get noticed. And he's funny, right? Like O'Shea said, I believe he said at the beginning of the season, he loves Cramdy because he plays like a prick.
Yes.
He doesn't even look like a strong side. He doesn't even look like a linebacker.
No.
Or a DB. He just looks like this diminutive little guy. But my goodness, he can pack a punch and he can tackle. He takes out guys' legs and he just knows... He knows how to tackle. There was one play where they swung it out to 𝘎𝙤𝙧, and he just on a pass play, and Cramdy just took him out at the legs, and he just went down. I just thought
that's the one I just showed you. Yeah,
I thought he was phenomenal tonight, and he's my warrior.
I love it. Yeah, that's who my warrior was going to be. Was going to be Retta Cramdy tonight. Great story of Retta Cramdy. You can read that on bluebombers.com. I had a great conversation with him. I think you can find it back like a year or two ago. There's tons of interviews on the Bonfire Sports YouTube channel. You can go back and watch those. But I had a great conversation with him at the Grey Cup. I think you can find that in there. Great to see everybody in the live chat picking their WALBY Warrior tonight. Kenny Lawler getting a little bit of love. Evan Holm. Retta Cramdy getting a lot. Trevor Thompson says he remembers the Bombers drafted Retta Cramdy because of his special team skills. The University of Montreal. And I'll correct myself. I think a couple times this season I've said Retta Cramdy was like a mid-round pick. He was a second-round pick. So like Tyrell Ford, second-round pick. Taylor Loeffler, I remember was a third-round pick.
There's someone who could thump guys. Holy crap.
Yeah.
By the way, we got a super chat from Kim Sawchuk.
Yes, thank you, Kim.
Yes,
$27.99. It's like buy a T-shirt retail.
Well, I need to save up for some more toys for Daphne, my dog. So she's just
You got to
going through
get
her
one of those
toys.
robot dog walkers. If you were telling me yesterday,
Oh
you got
my
to walk her
God.
for an hour.
Oh yeah, I walk her. You can't tell by my waistline, but I've been walking her between 45 minutes to an hour a night.
Yeah.
She's got lots of energy.
That's what puppies do.
Oh my God.
Rat River
Oh
Rebel
my-
says Zach Collaros is my warrior. He was in control all game.
Yeah.
That's pretty good too. I like that.
Yep. I thought Collaros was a warrior. Speaking of linebacking positions, like how much I didn't really pay attention to this, but I was curious how much Kyrie Wilson played tonight. I saw him sub on, I saw him sub off a few times.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I have to.
Good that
I'd be
he
interested.
played. Good that we saw a little bit of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. I'm glad he's healthy. And this way, winning the West Final gives him and Brendan Alexander a chance to get back in game shape, to shake the rust off Darrin for a Grey Cup appearance, and shout out to another guy, DB. I know I'm going off topic here, but shout out to Nick Taylor, who won 2 Grey Cups with the Bombers, really solidified that secondary in 2019. Fast as hell. He is super fast, and he hasn't played since last year for Calgary. And he came in, and I don't know how many snaps he took, Darrin, but it was quite a few. Like I saw him when they were playing 9 DBs, like Jordan Younger likes to do. By the way, shout out for Jordan Younger. He wasn't just dropping off 9 into coverage all the time. The Bombers, they blitzed. There was a couple all-out blitzes, but I thought Nick Taylor came in and did okay.
Yeah.
And I saw him playing safety on those 9 DB sets. Brandon Alexander was coming in playing closer to the line of scrimmage. But kudos to Nick Taylor for coming in, started off on the practice roster and starting for this team in a huge game. And I thought I saw him get beat maybe once on a pass, but other than that, I thought he did well.
Yeah, there was a couple times, like he's wearing number 12.
Yeah,
which is not really a traditional DB number, but I think he had a tackle in the game, and the live stats showed that it was 15 Jake Dolagala with a tackle, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that was Nick Taylor, but yeah. Here you go. Late in the game, 4th quarter. Here's Nick Taylor in the defensive backfield. There he is, number 12, Nick Taylor. Yeah, he was such an important part, a critical key piece in those Grey Cup championships. The first couple of years that Winnipeg was there. I got to say this, Schnitzy, the live chat's kind of getting lit up right now. I think a lot of people are just like finally getting home and turning on YouTube and joining us around the bonfire. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Appreciate that. Mandy Moore fan asking about my dog. My dog's good. Also saying Nick Taylor was really getting the fans hyped up at the end. Great guy. One of my favorite people. Nick Taylor, like just to shoot the shit with, just to, talk to. One of my favorite people. Like he's just great dude. Good dude. And I think after he left the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, it's like he had a baby. I think he's got another one now. I'm just seeing this here, Schnitzy. How about this? You can't really see the video replay, right? Here's a shot of Zach Collaros. Is that a pretty much shirtless Chris Streveler right there?
No way.
What is going on here? This is for the ladies or the fellas.
Yeah, he's absolutely shredded. He's
whatever
shredded.
You're inclined.
I'm not into that, but like if I was, I'd naked with a fur coat and the cowboy hat on.
So get the. I'll tell you a
Just
little story.
saying.
Okay, there's your third and final
Hey.
look at I don't know, maybe a bit of a tease for another Grey Cup parade. A shirtless, semi-shirtless Chris Streveler. Okay, in July, the Bombers had a practice, right? Bombers had a practice at Princess Auto Stadium, and it was like 33 degrees Celsius. Like, it was so freaking hot. And my girlfriend works for the Dream Factory. They're kind of like Make-A-Wish, right? But a local charity, and they do amazing work. They work with Josh Morrissey and Adam Lowry and a handful of Winnipeg Jets, as well as Adam Bighill and Willie Jefferson and a whole bunch of Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Dream Factory brought a bunch of kids, the parents, that sort of thing, to this practice. So hot outside. And after practice, there's Drew Wolitarsky and college roommate Chris Streveler, tarps off boys, entertaining the kids, and the moms seem to enjoy themselves a lot.
But I bet your girlfriend didn't notice because she was just thinking about her own dream factory, Darrin Bauming.
Sure, whatever you say. My new hero, this being Douglas Savage, author of My New Hero, Memories of the Rink Rats. I'm going to bring you a Bonfire Hat. We'll work something out. We'll work something out.
Is he going to be at the Grey Cup?
Yeah, well, he's in Vancouver.
Oh, no way.
He's in Vancouver. I'll mention this right here. I think it's a good time. Check out this book, My New Hero, Memories of the Rink Rats. It's an incredible story told by a Winnipegger who, as a kid, had a happenstance encounter with the great one, Wayne Gretzky. And there's the book on Indigo. You can get a link to the Amazon listing in the video description below. Check it out. And it's an amazing story. Here, I'll pull this comment up again. There's Douglas Savage, author of this book, on YouTube, so you can check him out there as well. This book is just an incredible story. If you're a Winnipegger, a sports fan, a hockey fan, whatever, or you know someone in your life who would enjoy this book. Christmas is right around the corner, right?
Hanukkah
is right around the corner. Oh yeah, I'm way ahead of you. I'm way ahead of you, buddy. It makes a great gift. And I think you can buy the ebook too, but be sure to check it out. It's worth your time. Amazing story. The relationship between Wayne Gretzky and Douglas Savage, the author of this book, lasts to this day. And there's some great stories about Gretzky's sticks, game use sticks, and all this sort of thing. Here, I'm going to. Doug sent me something today. Oh, chapter 13 of the book is Bombers games and doubleheader date, where the Jets and the Bombers played on the same day. Chapter 13, I got it. There you go. You can see it right there. So be sure to check it out. Super cool book. Thanks to Douglas for supporting us here on Bonfire Sports. And we're going to be connecting in his new hometown of Southern British Columbia, Vancouver. I think you're in Vancouver, right, Doug? Yeah. I'm going to digress because CFL 60 OG. DB stand for Dreamboat? No.
Yeah, baby.
Maybe the Dream Factory. Yeah.
Look at that mug. Look at that mug. Hey, a lot of people on the chat, Darrin, are bringing up this this play in the game. I believe it was at the end of the third quarter where Corey Mace and the Riders were 3rd and 3, and they gambled on their, I think they were on their own 30-yard line or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know the exact numbers. And a lot of people on the chat are saying, that was a completely stupid call. And I get that.
They're pressing.
But I actually disagree. I kind of disagree with that. I actually thought it was the right call given now the result was bad. Don't get me wrong. But the way that game was going, down by 2 scores in enemy territory, with Trevor Harris's ability to get the ball out quick and get those dink and dunk, like 3 yards, 4 yards.
Which one are people talking about? Like B
So
says 3rd and 4.
I
But
think
like
it was third.
I've got
Comet saying it's 12:25 left in the third quarter. No, I think it was like sort of the end of the third quarter.
Okay.
I don't think it was the beginning of the third quarter. The beginning of the third quarter is when they did that fake punt. But I thought it was the right call given what was going on in the game, the way the Bombers were kind of dominating the line of scrimmage, going up and down the field. I get the field position was bad. They were essentially giving up 3 points if they didn't get it, and they didn't get it.
This was, you can see here, I'll bring it back. This was 3rd and 3 on their own 24-yard line.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And they go a deep shot and Terrell Ford breaks it up. Look, I can see why people like pass play. You need 3 yards and you're looking at 3rd and 3, you're on your own 24-yard line and that this was a mistake. Well, you've scored 16 points and there's less than a quarter to play and you're down by 15. Like you need to score. You need to double your score. I think you have to go for it here because you know what's going to happen. You know you're going to get bully ball. You know you're going to get ball control, squeeze the life out of you, possession football from the Blue Bombers. So I got no problem with them going for it on 3rd and 3. If I was the Rough Riders, I agree with you, Schnitzer.
Yeah. And I think, hindsight is 2020, right? I believe the next drive when the Bombers took over on the 24, that's when Brady Oliveira rips off a 21-yard gain, setting up the touchdown. Yeah, that's but right. I mean, I just think if they would have punted it, the Bombers probably score anyway. Like, I don't know. I just think I think Mace is getting sort of raked over the coals here. I didn't think it was the worst call. Yeah, there was 12 minutes left. Yeah, Waiters is right. 15 points with 12 minutes isn't impossible, but just the way that game was going, I just thought it was a fine call. I thought it was gutsy. I thought as much as the Riders got destroyed in this game, I actually think they won one phase of the game, which was special teams. Right? Like they blocked a punt, they executed a fake punt, they recovered a fumble by Lucky Whitehead. Hashtag wide to the right for later. But I kind of like some of the things the Riders did. I love that. That was a really well executed fake punt by them in the third quarter. Really well executed block punt as well.
Just to go back to it, a lot of people have been bringing up their comments in the live chat, thoughts on that gamble. But I think it's kind of summarized right here by Matt Goodman. The game was over then anyways. Well, yeah. If the game is over, why the heck wouldn't you go for it? Like if the game's over, right? Like, oh, it's over. They're down 31-16. Game's over. It's fourth quarter. Yeah, if you fail, the Bombers are going to have a short field and probably score again. Well, you either need your offense to show up and make a play so you can get back into the game, or you deserve to lose. Or they don't. Your defense better step up and make a play, or you deserve to lose. Guess what? They didn't play well enough today, and the Bombers did. So, it kind of says it all. I think you got to go for it. What are you going to do? Play passive? You're down 31-16. Don't play passive. Go for it.
The Jess girls saying Trevor Harris told his family to book flights to BC. Ouch. That was bulletin board material, I bet.
Yeah, you know what though? A lot of players go to Grey Cup. Like,
I know, but I think, come on. He's telling you. You know what? The pundits, the fans, like everyone was betting on the Riders to win this game. Not everybody, but like a lot of people, given that the Bombers were the better team this year. But it's another team that was coming in smoking hot in terms of momentum that the Bombers shut down. They did it to BC early in the season, then they did it to the Riders, then they did it to Edmonton, they did it to Hamilton. Now they've done it to the Riders again, like teams that the I was going to say the media, I mean not all media, but a lot of people get excited about teams' hot streaks, right? And they kind of ignore the Bombers. Well, the Bombers have shoved it in their down their throat a few times. Teams that were coming in on hot streaks, and they're just like, "Shut up! We're the Bombers. We're better than you."
oh, look at you.
Your season's over. Your season's over, dude. We beat the Riders. There's nothing better. Come on, come on.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
That's pure fan perspective, right? Like I just
100%.
You know, the teams that I am a fan of, you know, like the Indianapolis Colts or, you know, the college football teams that I enjoy watching, that sort of thing, or like the Winnipeg Sea Bears. I work for them. I'm a fan of the team because I can be. I still don't like rubbing it in people's faces like, you know, we're better than you and you did, you know, I don't know.
Of course you don't.
You're a sore winner, Schnitzy. Shame on you.
We were better than the Riders today. I'm not saying we're a better franchise. I mean, that's kind of silly, but we were better today, and it's our bitter rival.
Canuck God says beating the Riders always Christmas for us Bombers fans.
Oh my God, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Well, it's maybe not the best thing in the world.
Comet says
a bit of hyperbole, but
yeah, of course. Comet says, I hope the Bombers are the betting underdogs. No chance. No chance. The Bombers are underdogs in the 111th Grey Cup. No,
they'll be favored by at least 4 or 5. I think with Arbuckle playing, they may even be favored by 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I think they're going to want Vegas is going to want people to come in on the Argos. I think if they give a decent line to the Bombers,
it's going to be a decent. I think it's going to be fat line.
You think?
Chunky. I think it's going to be like, it's going to be enough to really be like, whoo, 9 points? Yeah, okay. I'll take Toronto plus 9.
Yeah.
That's what I think it'll be. I think it'll be a really heavy line. Andrew Komet says Bombers -7. Oh, yeah. That's Sports Interaction.
That. Oh, already they have a line out?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a link in the video description below. If you go to sia.com/bonfire, you get a nice bonus. And I think we get a little bit of a kickback too. So more money for toys for Daphne Schnitzy's pup. Yeah. Arbuckle versus Zach Collaros. The Bombers in a 5th straight Grey Cup going against the free agent afterthought that is Nick Arbuckle.
Yeah.
Wow.
God forbid Arbuckle wins that game, and that would be like who was the Nick Foles, the journeyman Eagles QB who won it and was the Super Bowl MVP against the Patriots in the Philly special there. That would be the analogy to Arbuckle winning the Grey Cup. But listen, the Argos are a very solid team. They are good on specials with Janarian Grant and Laramire Lahu. Yep. Right? They have a great defense. They have playmakers. And they have they have some great receivers. They've got Kadeem Carey. They've got a 3-headed monster with McMahon and Adebaboye running the ball. This game isn't I don't think it's just a afterthought for the Bombers to win it. I think that I don't even know if that makes sense, an afterthought. Anyway, I don't think it's a gimme. I'll tell you that.
No championship game ever is. It's the crazy football league,
Absolutely.
Hey, James and the Peg, thank you for the super chat. $20.24.
All right.
2024 from James the Peg. Hashtag for the W at Grey Cup. I will be at Grey Cup all week long. I have got like superstar intern extraordinaire Zeno, Zachary Nolan of the Nolan Hockey Podcast. He'll be helping me out during the week remotely. He'll be here in Winnipeg, still in school, doing his thing, going, crushing creative communications, the program at Red River Polytechnic that pumps out the talent, Ted Wyman, amongst so many others, RIP Teddy. And we're going to be there all week long. So whether it's the CFL Awards or practice, or because I'm there, I'll probably get a little bit of exclusivity, some conversations, one-on-ones with Blue Bombers players, Argonauts players, coaches, and then also just the top players around the league that go to Grey Cup week every year. Our old friend Simone Lawrence, who joined us here on Game Day After Dark just a few weeks ago, touched base with him. And Schnitzy, I know he's your buddy.
Yeah, I have his phone number now. We got to get Simone on the show.
Oh, we're going to do some things down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I was going. Oh.
It's tough. But you know what? You can live vicariously through Bonfire Sports. So I encourage everybody to do that. Hit that thumbs up. Be sure you're subscribed. We got 3 thumbs down today. I'm guessing there's some Rider fans out there that.
Yeah, probably Rider fans.
Yeah. Monica is in Vancouver. Love it. Come say hi. I got Bonfire stickers. If you're coming to Grey Cup, hit me up. I'll get you some Bonfire stickers. I'm going to try to bring some hats. Maybe you're interested in buying a Bonfire hat. You can go to, here, I'll put it right up on the screen. BonfireSports.ca/hat. Don't capitalize anything in the word hat, but or just write it out all lowercase. BonfireSports.ca/hat, and that'll take you to the 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙬 website, and you can pick up your Bonfire Sports hat. They're available now. Yeah. Okay, Schnitzy, I think we went completely off the rails. The Bombers are going to the Grey Cup for a 5th straight year. We did Bonfire Burning Point. We did WALBY'S Warrior. We have not done Westwood Wide to the Right. What stood out for you there tonight?
It was the double clutch fumble by Lucky Whitehead on the punt return.
Yeah,
it ended up, it didn't really cost us because we stuffed the Riders on 3rd down that drive, and they started in our red zone. But that's just, if you're going into the Grey Cup, those are just plays, especially when you're up, those are plays you just can't make. Like, sometimes a team needs a lucky break to get back in a game, and if the game had been closer,
a lucky break.
Yeah. I think if you're going to give a team life, then you just can't do that. You can't drop that.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't, at that point, you're up 2-3 scores. Don't worry about your return. Don't worry about eyeing up the seam that you're going to run through or the lane, right, where your blockers are. Just catch the ball. You have to catch those balls. And it wasn't like it was a sidewinder. It wasn't particularly high punt from Corsack. He just dropped it, and you can't do that.
He misread it coming down, because here he is, and then watch it go. It's a little bit more left than I think he was aiming for. It hits him in the left hand and then the left shoulder. I'll put a silver lining on it this way, Schnitzy. Wouldn't you rather this happens in a dominant West final win than in the Grey Cup?
Absolutely. Yes. And I hope he got it out of his system. And I like Lucky Whitehead. He's a fun, charismatic dude.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He's done some good things for the Bombers this year. This is just an unfortunate play, and he just needs to make the catch.
That's your Westwood Wide to the Right. Here's mine.
Sir.
In the second quarter, early in the second quarter, Winnipeg punting. from inside their own 40. And this is Caleb Sanders, defensive lineman, who just absolutely dominates the line of scrimmage and gets through to block the punt. Like, when's the last time you saw a boy like that, built like that, D-tackle, blocking a punt? True. So here it is. And there's Tony Jones. There's Mike Benson, who's snapping. And he just beats Mike Benson. Winnipeg native Mike Benson, former Winnipeg Rifle of the Canadian Junior Football League, #Rifle Up. But yeah, just getting beat there. So that's my Westwood wide to the right.
Who got beat there? I missed that.
Mike Benson, long snapper.
Oh yeah.
He kind of punches, like he kind of, Jones chips him and then goes to the next. Jones chips him so Benson can snap and come back up, right? Raise his head, because you can't just, they brought in that rule. You can't just crush the long snapper when they're snapping the ball and their head's down, right? So Tony Jones kind of engages and releases and goes to his next block. And Caleb Sanders just beat Mike Benson there. So that's my Westwood wide to the right. Schnitzy, you know what it's time for. Happy Honker. Who you got tonight?
Happy Honker. My happy honker is you go to the second quarter of this game at 11 minutes and 56 seconds on a seemingly routine second and short. Terry Wilson rips off a 48-yard run, which sets up the Bombers on the 3-yard line. Like, you think you'd see something like that from Chris Streveler. And sometimes Streveler's been close to ripping those off. But in fact, it's Terry Wilson, ironically, who rips off a 48-yarder. I thought he was going to take it to the house. And then it sets up a Brady Oliveira 3-yard touchdown, Darrin. That is my happy honker. Love that. Love that run by Terry Wilson. And who knows, maybe he'll need to come up big in the Grey Cup.
Here it is, Terry Wilson on 2nd and 1 following a 9-yard Brady Oliveira run. And he takes it from the Winnipeg 50 all the way inside the red zone, pretty close to the 10-yard line. 46-yard run, Terry Wilson. I described it before you joined us a little bit earlier, Schnitzy, as embodying his inner Chris Streveler.
There you go.
But it was Marcus Sayles who failed to contain on the edge. Here's Marcus Sayles, number 8, on the left side of this Bombers line, but he's on the right side of the Rough Rider line, and he just overshoots Wilson. Didn't take a good line, and Wilson's off to the races. Big boy there, Terry Wilson. And here's Jason Hogan on the left, who's the running backs coach. He's had a handful of offensive assistant roles with the Blue Bombers the last couple of years, but he was absolutely fired up. I thought that was funny. There's a good look at Terry Wilson on the sideline, tucking, with the football under his arm, like I think Glenn Suter mentioned, he's not going to let that football go. Big run for Terry Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of my bonfire burning point. So that's a good one. I like that. Let's see if I can find my happy honker. Sorry, I had to do it.
You do it again.
Yeah. It is. Oh, that's you, Schnitzy. This is my happy honker. The end of the game. There's Kyrie Wilson with the football, turnover on downs, and out comes Zach Collaros, fired up. Off comes the Bombers defense for one final time, and the crowd. There's Collaros spinning around, soaking it in. Schnitzy, I can't imagine what the volume, the energy, the atmosphere. I'm sure it was palpable. I'm sure you could feel it in your bones at this point, where Winnipeg is getting set to take some knees in victory formation and punch their ticket to a 5th straight Grey Cup game. What was it like? Tell us.
Sorry, I missed the handoff there.
That's okay.
The crowd was incredible. From the very beginning, they were so loud. And they were basically the second half of the fourth quarter was just a party because the game was over by then, right? And you know how that 3 minutes is an eternity in the CFL because the clock stops. It was absolute joy. And then they played Sweet Caroline, as they do every home game. They played it near actually the beginning of the fourth quarter this time. People were standing and just just loved it, man. It was a great scene, and it's almost sad that there's no more home games this year. I gotta say, yeah, I have to wait till next year to go to a home game at Princess Auto Stadium. But yeah, it was a lot of people in the live chat wondering what jersey we're going to wear. The away jersey, or they're going to wear the home blue jersey next week.
They've been wearing whites in the Grey Cup as of late.
I know.
You know, they've been wearing blue jersey, blue pants, the double blue combo, and ironically, they're going up against the double blue. The Toronto Argonauts. But wearing there's the blue look, blue pants, blue jersey. I think this, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be opening up a can of worms here. I think this is what the franchise wants to eventually evolve towards, is no more gold pants, or only gold pants with the white jerseys.
Oh yeah. Eh?
Or maybe no more gold pants, period. I think they want to get rid of them.
Really?
I think.
Why? Why do you say that?
I don't know. I've heard some things.
You are an insider.
Maybe I'm wrong.
You are an insider.
Maybe I'm wrong.
It was loud as hell though at that game.
Yeah.
Like at certain points, it was loud. We really do have the best fans in the CFL.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I love seeing everybody in the live chat. Chris Joyle says, "Sorry I'm late, guys. Had to hit 5 guys after the game. You earned it. You deserved it." That's pretty great. John Cuppers wants to know why the Riders' attendance was so poor this season. Well, it's been bad for a couple years.
Yeah.
They just they raised their ticket prices like 28% a couple years ago.
Oh, did they really? Wow.
Yeah. And think about it. Regina has 250,000 people, and Saskatoon has like 500,000, 600,000, something like that. If you're a city of 250, even 300, let's say, Greater Regina, something people have never said before, words never uttered in the history of mankind, Greater Regina. But if the people in the GRA, if it's 300,000, frankly, thousands of fans are driving into town for those games. Okay. Yorkton, Saskatoon, Lethbridge, wherever, right? Or is it Lloydminster? Whatever. Fuel
North
went
Battleford.
Up. Yeah. North Battleford. Yeah. Fuel went up incredibly in the last 3-4 years. And then the team raised their ticket prices a good chunk. So I'm not really surprised to see those numbers drop. But they had one sellout this year. That was Labor Day Classic. They sold it out because of you, Schnitzy. You were the 33,000th ticket.
Did you just make up the acronym GRA for Greater Regina Area?
I did. Yeah.
That's pretty good. GRA.
Yeah. Christian Paulson maybe likes that I said GRA. Super chat. Thanks, Christian. Great time to be a Bomber fan at the game with my kid tonight, and can't believe how lucky we are.
Nice.
Bombers fans are lucky. You guys are very fortunate. I think we're all fortunate to be in this city with the hockey team we have, the football team we have, the sports culture that we have. It's a special time. This is a special place.
absolutely.
Yeah. There's Willie and his oldest daughter. Man, she's getting big. Holy cow. There's the youngest. That's awesome to see. There's Zach Collaros with his little ones.
Yeah, he's got 3 now. He's got a son now.
By the way, speaking of the Collaros family, 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙚 of Canadian Press. Oh gosh, here, see, I missed it. 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙚 in the Canadian Press wrote an amazing story of about Zach Collaros, his wife, his kids. Really, really great story. So, like, if you just Google 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙚 and Zach Collaros, you're gonna find that story. Her Twitter handle is @sportyjudyOwen. I think you can find it in my likes. I mean, there's a lot of likes on social, like on Twitter, especially, you know, all the stuff, said about our good friend Ted Wyman today. But this is crazy what I'm seeing on the screen here. I'll pull it up here. But be sure to read that story. It was pretty great. That is not Brady Oliveira's baby. Wearing a Brady Oliveira jersey, but Brady is not a dad. So I don't know. Maybe that's his brother with his, like, maybe that's his little baby niece. Yeah, they're trying to show off the Oliveira jersey there. That's pretty great. Great job by TSN, as always, giving us those visuals on an amazing day for football. But great story by 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙚, and I encourage you to find that and read that. What have we should we just get to game balls? Have we forgotten anything else?
No, maybe our minds. We've forgotten our minds, but
Maybe.
you know, people don't come here to admire our minds. They come here to admire our
Speak
analysis.
For yourself.
Objective analysis right here.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Zach's kids are cute. My kids are cuter though. My kids are super cute.
Yeah.
I should bring them down here for a show, but my wife probably wouldn't like that.
Richmond News, CBC, a whole bunch of different. It's the Canadian Press. It's a wire service, so yeah, you can find that.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I haven't read that one. I mean, I read everything I can, but I haven't read that one. Your friend from CFL.ca wrote some good stuff though. Christina Costabile. Yeah, really good writer. I thought she had some great analysis, so I'm looking forward to her stuff for the Grey Cup.
I'll answer this question because I think it's maybe the most pressing right now. How can Winnipeg beat Toronto? You make it a nightmare Sunday night for Nick Arbuckle with no Chad Kelly. The Toronto Argonauts are going to have to rely on Kadeem Carey and a very talented receiving core, but none of that happens if they make it difficult on Nick Arbuckle. Nick Arbuckle he's up and down. He has games where he will make multiple mistakes. I think, Winnipeg can absolutely do that and create that. Is it true that Chad Kelly broke his leg? Yeah. For those of you, we've talked about this a couple times already. For those of you tuning in late and didn't hear, Chad Kelly had his leg fallen on, and he's having surgery tonight at Toronto General Hospital. He'll be out 6 to 9 months, I think. Is what
shades of the Kelly. The Kevin Glenn 2007 East Final, breaks his arm. Who comes in but Ryan Dinwiddie, overconfident, throws 3 picks. Could have ran for it on the last drive for the first down, but throws it. What was his name? James Johnson had like 2 picks, 3 picks. Anyway, now it's funny, right? Because it's Dinwiddie leading a team with a backup quarterback. Their starting quarterback got injured. Yeah, it's interesting how things happen. Interesting.
It is. Schnitzy, you always start by handing out your game balls. Who you got first?
I got Kenny Lawler first 4 catches for 177 yards and 3 tutties. You keep doing these like
Well, it's because I'm pulling
signs.
up comments. We got to get your
Oh.
computer fixed, man, so you can see what I'm seeing on the screen, what everyone else is seeing on the screen.
Yeah, I know. I
We'll
don't know
get you
what's
straightened
going
out.
on. I don't think it's my
Here's a
computer.
tip. Here's a tip. Keep your toddler away from your computer.
Oh, I know. Jeez.
That's your
He's
fault,
not even
man.
a
That's not his
toddler.
fault.
He's 4.
It's not his
He's
fault.
4.
It's your fault. Okay, so you're
It's
giving a game
always
ball
my
to
fault.
177 yards, caught in the hands and run with the legs of Kenny Lawler.
Kenny Lawler, game breaker. I'm giving another one to Zach Collaros for his first signature Bombers playoff game. 73% for 301 yards and 4 touchdowns, Darrin.
Mm-hmm.
4. 3 to Kenny Lawler, 1 to Nick Dembski. Then I'm giving one, staying with offense, to Brady Oliveira, 119 yards, 6-yard average. I believe he had 2 runs of over 20 yards against the best rush defense in the CFL. The Bombers' offense as a unit had 194 yards rushing. I gotta give 2 more. One to the Bombers O-line.
Wait.
What?
You just got to hand out like game balls to all of the best players tonight on offense, and now you're going to do the same thing on defense. And what are you going to leave me? What are you going to leave me?
I don't know. You can echo my game balls.
No, you can echo my game balls.
Game ball.
You can echo my game balls. Hang on, I'm doing this for you. I'm pulling up video of Brady Oliveira ripping off that 21-yard run. Let's watch it again. Just for you, buddy. So because I did that for you, would you mind if I give away my defensive game balls first?
Well, yeah, because you're going to give one to Evan Holm. I would have given him one, but...
Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Where do we got it here? I got too many videos going on. How come it's not coming up? There we go. Evan Holm, yeah, defensive game ball. Here is one of his, a sequence. This is a whole bunch of his plays tonight. Evan Holm, man, he was an absolute stud.
4 knockdowns is incredible.
Yeah. So you got the numbers, I got the visuals. Let's work together.
We're working.
You giving one to 𝘎𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙧𝙯?
I gave him my Warrior.
You're not going to give him a game ball?
Give him a game ball. Well, can you get a Warrior and a game ball?
Heck yeah. I'm giving 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙧𝙯 a game ball.
Okay.
That tackle for those sacks. Well, he had 1 sack. Absolutely, I'm giving it to Reda.
Yeah,
Hot boy, 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙧𝙯. What? Hot boy, 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙧𝙯. Willie Jefferson at the Blue Bombers gala dinner this year started like listing off players on the defense that are having a great. He said, "Hot boy, 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙧𝙯," because he is the hot thing right now. He is the hot boy. I like that. Everyone's talking about 𝘎𝙤𝙧𝙧𝙯. Anybody else? Who else you got giving a game ball?
I like that hot boy.
Hot boy Reda. Hot boy Reda.
I gotta give the coordinators each a game ball. Buck Pierce and Jordan Younger. I thought they both called great games, particularly Buck Pierce really opened up the playbook tonight. I thought the Bombers' offense looked static at times this year. Not as much motion, not as much short passes and things to open up the run game. And I thought they were masterful tonight. And the O-line. A lot of people were saying that this game hinged on the Bombers' O-line. Were they going to be able to run the ball, which is the bread and butter of these Bombers the past few years with Harris, with Brady Oliveira? Were they going to give Zach time? Were they going to keep him upright? 0 sacks against. Zach had tons of time, throws 4 interceptions, a few deep balls, right? 3 30-plus yard deep balls to Kenny Lawler. You need time in the pocket. I thought the O-line made a statement tonight, Darrin. They made a statement. They didn't really gel in the first part of the season. And then the question is, are they going to be able to make the same statement against a Argos front that I believe sacked Collaros 12 or 13 times in the 2 games. I don't know how many. It was definitely 7 last game. I don't know how many times they sacked Collaros in the first Toronto game in week 8. But yeah, I think that O-line deserves some love. And those are my game balls.
I like it. Well, good on you.
Yes, sir.
T. Conapoli giving me the gears. DB, no love for Collaros tonight? Best playoff game ever. I didn't give away any offensive game balls because Schnitzy, you took it.
I stole them.
Stole my ice cream. You stole my ice cream, bruh.
Bruh.
Absolutely. Like Zach Collaros, you got to give some to Kenny, give some love to Kenny tonight. You got to give some love to the second down conversion work of Nick Dembski. Had a nice touchdown as well. Brady, the O-line, like really everybody played incredibly well. But to see Zach Collaros do what we know he has been capable of all season and has only really shown it in a handful of games, for him to do it on the biggest stage so far and to play clean. He had a quarterback efficiency rating of 158.3. What is that? What is 158.3? That is a perfect quarterback efficiency rating. 158.3. And there he is with his beautiful wife and kids, and just an incredible day for that guy right there. Forget the Kelsey brothers and T Swift. Forget them all. It's Zach Collaros' night tonight. And the job's not done, Schnitzy, right? 8 days from now, we will all be watching on, whether you're in Vancouver or somewhere else in Canada. I got a text tonight from Big Beaver Jerry, right? From Big Beaver, Saskatchewan. Bombers fans from Rider Nation. Big Beaver, Saskatchewan. Big Beaver Jerry, he is in the Philippines right now, watching Game Day After Dark, watching the Bombers on TSN. He'll be watching the Grey Cup. And everybody out there, you'll be watching too.
Well, I might be watching it B-sides. He's just invited me to his Grey Cup party. Or her. Oh. I don't know who it is.
B-sids.
Give me your address. I'll come.
Yeah. 560, what? Hazeldale?
No, 864 Hazeldale.
864. See, I never remember.
Or 54. 854, I think.
I got it written down here. I wrote it down.
Dude? No, you didn't.
I did in my bonfire notebook. Yeah, I got it here. You're waiting for me?
Yeah. I want to know what it is.
You know what it is. You always know what it is.
Yeah, I think it's 854.
I got it here somewhere.
Somewhere, eh? Uh-huh.
854 Hazeldale? Is that where the Grey Cup party is?
854 Hazeldale. Come
You know
down.
what I think would be awesome is if people, whether it's on Instagram or Twitter, X or Facebook or YouTube, tag Bonfire Sports all week long, and we will share them with people of your Grey Cup traditions, of your Bombers fandom. We gave away a pair of tickets today to the West Final because we had a great text from James Batty. Did he email? Yeah, he sent me an email and he wrote like a poem about the Bombers and the West Final. So Bonfire Sports gave him a pair of tickets to the West Final, and
amazing.
He enjoyed himself. Yeah. I don't know if I can find it here. I'm going to have to look for it. But yeah, I noticed Big Beaver Jerry texted the Bonfire hotline, 204-816-TIPS, 816-TIPS.
You just love it. You love it when they text the hotline.
816-8477. I got a whole list of texts here from somebody. Didn't leave their name. I think you want to leave your name so then I can, mention you on the show. But yeah, Big Beaver Jerry here, watching from Antipolo City, Philippines.
Cool.
So
Polo.
at Bonfire WPG. Here, I'll put it right up on the screen. I'll put it in the live chat. This is where you find Bonfire Sports on all of your social medias: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, X, whatever. James and the Pegs got it. 854 Hazeldale is like 300 feet from where he grew up. It's a real place. At Bonfire WPG. So whatever social media you're on, send and tag Bonfire, and we'll share them during Grey Cup week. And then, of course, we're going to have tons of content all week long. I'm flying out Tuesday morning. We're going to be at the CFL Awards. We're going to be at the all the Grey Cup, try to get out to all the Grey Cup parties, practices and the coaches' press conferences, and Randy Ambrosie's State of the Union and fan State of the Union. Well, of course, it won't be Randy Ambrosie. He stepped down.
No, but he hasn't retired yet.
Retired. Right. So I guess it'll be it's going to be
like
a
swan song. It'll be his last time.
It's going to be like underhand grapefruit toss.
Yeah.
Questions because
who's going to be the next commish, I wonder.
Yeah. Gerald Wilson giving us a nice geography lesson. Appreciate that.
We gotta do an extra show, DB, for you.
Oh, we're gonna dude, call me. Let's set something up.
Pick up the phone.
Whoa. I know it's late. I know it's game day after dark here on the Bonfire, but yeah. Gerald Wilson just let us know about the Philippines and says Big Beaver has a population of 15 people.
Okay.
Big Beaver, Saskatchewan. Big Beaver Jerry.
I wish I knew someone who lived there.
You do. You know Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah.
I guess I know Jerry now.
Mandy Morfan doing everything they can to pump my tires today. I'm not going to be the commissioner, but Schnitzy could be commissioner. See, B-Sids wants you at the Grey Cup party.
B-Sids, I will come dressed up as a conditioner. Commissioner at your Grey Cup party. Maybe I should go to a local watering hole for the Grey Cup and bring my father-in-law and some friends, and maybe some Bonfire people could meet me there, and we could do like a watch party.
Boom.
Because I don't need to have a Grey Cup party at my house. I don't even have cable for God's sakes.
Well, you're gonna have a beer on Dylan Webb because he just hit the super chat. Dylan Webb says,
"Where's everybody going for the watch the Grey Cup? Do you want to go to a watering hole with me, Schnitzy?"
Well, you're asking Dylan Webb?
Everybody on the chat.
Yeah.
Everybody who's listening.
Webb says,
hit me up on Twitter.
I got to read Dylan's comment because he
read it already. Jeez.
Well, you keep interrupting me, and
I do.
The dude sent you $10. Got to mention his comment here.
I haven't seen that $10 from you yet, but
dude, I told you the traveler's check is in the mail, and Canada Post is having an issue right now. Dylan Webb says, "Always love relaxing with you guys after the game. Keep it up. That's why we light the bonfire." There's the fire. There's Teddy watching on. Miss you already, buddy. Yeah. You want to get your Bonfire hat if you're going to be at your Grey Cup watch party, right? BonfireSports.ca/hat.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Schnitzy, last time you were at a watering hole with a bunch of Bombers fans, you were just slinging those Bonfire hats.
Oh, those hats were gone in like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Popular.
If I start a tab, then Jessica Billis will come. Whatever, Cabillas, you and your Arizona Cardinals. Arizona. Kyler Murray. Ha.
Schnitzy, what are you most looking forward to this Grey Cup week?
Well, doing an extra show with you, maybe, connecting with other Bombers fans at a local watering hole for the Grey Cup. I don't know where I'm going to watch. I don't know. I might have to watch with my friend Caitlin, though. She was there with the family today. I've never watched a Grey Cup with her, and I feel like our energy would be good, and we'd send good vibes out to the left coast. So I'm looking forward to the awards. I'd like to see Brady win the MOP. I can't imagine he doesn't win it, but who knows? I'm looking forward to the awards, and to be honest, the thing I'm most looking forward to, of course, is the game, my friend. A chance to capture a third Grey Cup in 5 years, 5 straight appearances. I want a dynasty. I don't want to wait till next year for a home Grey Cup. You never know, right? At some point, this train is going to go off the rails. It wasn't this year, although we thought it was going to be at 0-4. Could be next year, right? Look what happened to the Lions. They had a home Grey Cup. They didn't even get there. They didn't even win a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
I need them to beat the Argos finally in a Grey Cup. They only have like 10,000 fans. They don't need a Grey Cup. Nobody there cares. And there's lots of great Argo fans, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't mean the same thing. It doesn't even move the needle in Toronto in the GTA, which is an actual acronym, Darrin.
GRA.
GRA, Greater Regina Area. But I need the Bombers to win the Grey Cup. I want to see that ring with the 3 Grey Cups, whatever ring they come up with this year. I want a Grey Cup social at the convention center. I want a Grey Cup party at Princess Auto Stadium where they drive around in those trucks on the field with the players. Dude, I just want one more, and then I can die happy. I want one more.
One more.
So that's what I'm looking forward to,
One
buddy.
more.
Plus all the great coverage from you and Walby and Bonfire, buddy.
That's what it's all about, is going out there and getting to 1-0 every single week, right? We try to do that here on Bonfire. You know, we try to bring it for you. I know Teddy would always bust his tail to go 1-0 that day, every single day. It's all for you. You know, Teddy, you blessed us today with an incredible Winnipeg sports day, top to bottom.
Yep.
I know you had a hand in that. I know you did. But we miss you so much, man. It's going to be, it's been such a day, Schnitzy. Incredible pain and loss, and, you know, some very good things too. So,
Yep.
you know, that's life. That's balance. You got to, you know, take the good with the bad with the good, and know that you never know what tomorrow brings. So live today the best you can. And I know Ted always did, but gone way too soon, way too fucking soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Schnitzy, on that note, let's wrap up the show. I think you laid it all out very eloquently just a moment ago. And got another super chat. Back-to-back blue. How about that for a YouTube handle? Thanks for the super chat. If Bonfire Sports had a record for every season, they'd be 18-0. Well, appreciate that. I'm hoping that's just regular season, and that preseason and you know, postseason matters too. But
Yep.
We're going to try to go 1-0 next week. And it all starts, I'll be out there Tuesday. Yeah.
Well, my friend, shall I send us off with my rhyme?
Yeah, I'm rambling on. I'm heartbroken and excited at the same time. It's been a very weird day. But there's nobody I'd rather spend it with than you, man.
You too, buddy. You too. This one was for Teddy. And I'll finish off with this. 5th straight time Bombers going to the dance, kindling the flames of the bonfire bromance. Sayonara, everybody.